Welcome back to the channel. Come in, come in, come in. It's time for our Bible in a Day series. Today is day 39, August 11th on the calendar. We're going to be reading about the gap. There are days when you might wake up a little more sluggish, with a little less energy and positivity about the day. That can feel kind of empty, a gap you're hoping to fill. The great thing about the God you serve is that in Him you can be complete. He can be that gap filler. As you sit with Him, His light begins to burn brighter. On that particular day, meet Him with independence. Come to Him even when you don't feel like it. Present your helplessness and emptiness to Him, and He will bless you and fill your gap with warmth, joy, peace, care, and love. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Matthew 5:3 through 6. Have you seen the fruit of this promise on one of your rough days? When you spend time with Him and allow Him to speak to you, you can rest knowing you were transformed and filled on one of the hardest days. He is faithful and loving no matter our circumstance or feeling. Now, yesterday we read Exodus 19 and 20, Leviticus 13, and Psalm 74. Today we're going to be reading Exodus 21, Leviticus 14, and Psalm 75. So let's get right into it. Exodus 21. And thank you for being here and sharing this journey with me. I do appreciate you. I do. Laws concerning slaves. Now these are the ordinances which you shall set before them. When you buy a Hebrew slave, he shall serve 6 years, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. If he comes in single, he shall go out single. If he comes in married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master gives him a wife, and she bears him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out alone. But if the slave plainly says, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free, then his master shall bring him to God, and he shall bring him to the door of the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him for life. When a man sells his daughter as a slave, she shall not go out as the male slaves do. If she does not please her master, who has designated her for himself, then he shall let her be redeemed. He shall have no right to sell her to a foreign people, since he has dealt faithlessly with her. If he designates her for his son, he shall deal with her as with a daughter. If he takes another wife to himself, he shall not diminish her food, her clothing, or her marital rights. And if he does not do these 3 things for her, she shall go out for nothing, without payment of money. Laws concerning violence and harm. Whoever strikes a man so that he dies shall be put to death. But if he did not lie in wait for him, but God let him fall into his hand, then I will appoint for you a place to which he may flee. But if a man willfully attacks another to kill him treacherously, you shall take him from my altar that he may die. Whoever strikes his father or his mother shall be put to death. Gotta help the puppy. Please bear with me. Puppy's got old legs. He's 11 now, and so it hurts him to move around. I've got to help him lay comfortably. So excuse me, but we're back here. Let's go back up a little bit. Whoever steals a man, whether he sells him or is found in possession of him, shall be put to death. Whoever curses his father or his mother shall be put to death. When men quarrel, and one strikes the other with a stone or with his fist, and the man does not die, but keeps his bed, then if the man rises again and walks abroad with his staff, he that struck him shall be clear. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time, and shall have him thoroughly healed. When a man strikes his slave, male or female, with a rod, and the slave dies under his hand, he shall be punished. But if the slave survived a day or two, he is not to be punished, for the slave is his money. When men strive together and hurt a woman with child, so that there is a miscarriage, and yet no harm follows, the one who hurt her shall be fined according as the woman's husband shall lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. If any harm follows, then you shall give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. When a man strikes the eye of his slave, male or female, and destroys it, he shall let the slave go free for the eye's sake. If he knocks out the tooth of his slave, male or female, he shall let the slave go free for the tooth's sake. When an ox gores a man or a woman to death, the ox shall be stoned, and its flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be clear. But if the ox has been accustomed to gore in the past, and its owner has been warned but has not kept it in, and it kills a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and its owner shall also be put to death. If a ransom is laid on him, then he shall give for the redemption of his life whatever is laid upon him. If it gores a man's son or daughter, he shall be dealt with according to this same rule. If the ox gores a slave, male or female, the owner shall give to their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. When a man leaves a pit open, or when a man digs a pit and does not cover it, and an ox or a donkey falls into it, the owner of the pit shall make it good. He shall give money to its owner, and the dead beast shall be his. When one man's ox hurts another's, so that it dies, then they shall sell the live ox and divide the price of it, and the dead beast also they shall divide. Or if it is known that the ox has been accustomed to gore in the past, and its owner has not kept it in, he shall pay ox for ox, and the dead beast shall be his. Leviticus 14, the cleansing of lepers. The Lord said to Moses, "This shall be the law of the leper for the day of his cleansing. He shall be brought to the priest, and the priest shall go out of the camp, and the priest shall make an examination. Then if the leprous disease is healed in the leper, the priest shall command them to take for him, who is to be cleansed, 2 living clean birds, and cedar wood and scarlet stuff and hyssop. The priest shall command them to kill one of the birds in an earthen vessel over running water. He shall take the living bird with the cedar wood and the scarlet stuff and the hyssop, and dip them and the living bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over the running water. And he shall sprinkle it 7 times upon him who is to be cleansed of leprosy. Then he shall pronounce him clean, and shall let the living bird go into the open field. And he who is to be cleansed shall wash his clothes and shave off all his hair and bathe himself in water, and he shall be clean. And after that he shall come into the camp, but shall dwell outside his tent 7 days. And on the 7th day he shall shave all his hair off his head. He shall shave off his beard and his eyebrows, all his hair. Then he shall wash his clothes and bathe his body in water, and he shall be clean. And on the 8th day he shall take 2 male lambs without blemish, and 1 ewe, a lamb a year old without blemish, and a cereal offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, and 1 log of oil. And the priest who cleanses him shall set the man who is to be cleansed and these things before the Lord at the door of the tent of meeting. And the priest shall take one of the male lambs and offer it for a guilt offering, along with the log of oil, and wave them for a wave offering before the Lord. And he shall kill the lamb in the place where they kill the sin offering and the burnt offering, in the holy place. For the guilt offering, like the sin offering, belongs to the priest. It is most holy. The priest shall take some of the blood of the guilt offering, and the priest shall put it on the tip of the right ear of him who is to be cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the great toe of his right foot. Then the priest shall take some of the log of oil, and pour it into the palm of his own left hand, and dip his right finger in the oil that is in his left hand, and sprinkle some oil with his finger 7 times before the Lord. And some of the oil that remains in his hand the priest shall put on the tip of the right ear of him who is to be cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the great toe of his right foot, upon the blood of the guilt offering. And the rest of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall put on the head of him who is to be cleansed. Then the priest shall make atonement for him before the Lord. The priest shall offer the sin offering to make atonement for him who is to be cleansed from his uncleanness. And afterward he shall kill the burnt offering, and the priest shall offer the burnt offering and the cereal offering on the altar. Thus the priest shall make atonement for him, and he shall be clean. Excuse me. But if he is poor and cannot afford so much, then he shall take one male lamb for a guilt offering to be waved, to make atonement for him, and 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil for a cereal offering, and a log of oil. Also 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, such as he can afford. The one shall be a sin offering, and the other a burnt offering. And on the 8th day he shall bring them for his cleansing to the priest, to the door of the tent of meeting, before the Lord. And the priest shall take the lamb of the guilt offering and the log of oil, and the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before the Lord. And he shall kill the lamb of the guilt offering. And the priest shall take some of the blood of the guilt offering, and put it on the tip of the right ear of him who is to be cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the great toe of his right foot. And the priest shall pour some of the oil into the palm of his own left hand, and shall sprinkle with his right finger some of the oil that is in his left hand 7 times before the Lord. And the priest shall put some of the oil that is in his hand on the tip of the right ear of him who is to be cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the great toe of his right foot, in the place where the blood of the guilt offering was put. And the rest of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall put on the head of him who is to be cleansed, to make atonement for him before the Lord. And he shall offer of the turtle doves or young pigeons, such as he can afford, one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, along with the cereal offering. And the priest shall make atonement before the Lord for him who is being cleansed. This is the law for him in whom is a leprous disease, who cannot afford the offerings for his cleansing. Cleansing of leprous houses. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, when you come into the land of Canaan, which I give you for a possession, and I put a leprous disease in a house in the land of your possession, then he who owns the house shall come and tell the priest, there seems to me to be some sort of disease in my house. Then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priest goes to examine the disease, lest all that is in the house be declared unclean. And afterward the priest shall go in to see the house, and he shall examine the disease. And if the disease is in the walls of the house with greenish or reddish spots, and if it appears to be deeper than the surface, then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house, and shut up the house 7 days. And the priest shall come again on the 7th day and look, and if the disease has spread in the walls of the house, then the priest shall command that they take out the stones in which is the disease, and throw them into an unclean place outside the city. And he shall cause the inside of the house to be scraped round about, and the plaster they scrape off they shall pour into an unclean place outside the city. Then they shall take other stones, and put them in the place of those stones, and he shall take other plaster, and plaster the house. If the disease breaks out again in the house, after he has taken out the stones and scraped the house and plastered it, then the priest shall go and look. And if the disease has spread in the house, it is a malignant leprosy in the house. It is unclean. And he shall break down the house, its stones, its timber, and all the plaster of the house. And he shall carry them forth out of the city to an unclean place. Moreover, he who enters the house while it is shut up shall be unclean until the evening. And he who lies down in the house shall wash his clothes, and he who eats in the house shall wash his clothes. But if the priest comes and makes an examination, and the disease has not spread in the house after the house was plastered, then the priest shall pronounce the house clean, for the disease is healed. And for the cleansing of the house, he shall take 2 small birds with cedar wood and scarlet stuff and hyssop, and shall kill one of the birds in an earthen vessel over running water, and shall take the cedar wood and the hyssop and the scarlet stuff, along with the living bird, and dip them in the blood of the bird that was killed, and in the running water, and sprinkle the house 7 times. Thus he shall cleanse the house with the blood of the bird, and with the running water, and with the living bird, and with the cedar wood, and hyssop, and scarlet stuff. And he shall let the living bird go out of the city into the open field, so he shall make atonement for the house, and it shall be clean. This is the law for any leprous disease, for an itch, for leprosy in a garment or in a house, and for a swelling or an eruption or a spot, to show when it is unclean and when it is clean. This is the law for leprosy. Psalm 75. Thanksgiving for God's wondrous deeds. To the choir master, according to Do Not Destroy, a psalm of Asaph, a song. We give thanks to you, O God, we give thanks. We call on your name and recount your wondrous deeds. At the set time which I appoint, I will judge with equity. When the earth totters and all its inhabitants, it is I who keep steady its pillars. Selah. I say to the boastful, do not boast, and to the wicked, do not lift up your horn. Do not lift up your horn on high, or speak with insolent neck. For not from the east or from the west, and not from the wilderness comes lifting up. But it is God who executes judgment, putting down one and lifting up another. For in the hand of the Lord there is a cup, with foaming wine well mixed, and he will pour a draught from it, and all the wicked of the earth shall drain it down to the dregs. But I will rejoice forever. I will sing praises to the God of Jacob. All the horns of the wicked he will cut off, but the horns of the righteous shall be exalted. That concludes our Bible verse readings for day 39. On to the companion. Day 39, Slavery in the Old Testament. Today, in Exodus, the Lord instructs the Israelites what they are to do with slaves. In the ancient Egyptian and Greco-Roman world, gods and goddesses were not seen as good, merely as powerful. The Lord teaches the Israelites that he is a God of justice who hears their cry. He shows them that their actions cannot be rooted in power, vengeance, or utility, but must be rooted in justice. Here, God is speaking to a community that does not yet know there are restrictions on what can and cannot be done to other people. Slavery is seen as normal to them because they themselves were in slavery for 400 years. God has to start somewhere. He has to come down to their level. They do not yet know that human beings have been created in his image and likeness. They have to be taught how to treat other people with justice. Eventually, God calls to his people to choose mercy over justice, but they must first learn what justice is. God starts with setting parameters on how the Israelites can treat their slaves. He teaches them that they are not allowed to do whatever they want with them, that slaves are not truly their property. Take it to prayer. Father in heaven, we give you praise and thank you. We thank you for your word. We thank you for convicting us and for challenging us with how you reveal yourself to us. You reveal yourself to us slowly, so slowly and incrementally. Lord, you meet us where we are at. You stoop down to us, not to leave us there, but to raise us up to you. Help us to recognize your divine condescension, your gentle and helpful condescension meeting us in our brokenness, meeting us in our woundedness, and beginning where we are so that we can end up where you are. Thank you. We make this prayer and ask you to please receive our thanks in the name of Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Dive deeper. Why is slavery permitted in the Bible? Isn't slavery morally wrong? When we read the Bible, we always need to pay close attention to the culture in which it was written. Nearly every example of slavery in the Old Testament is debt slavery, similar to what was called indentured servitude in more recent times, where a person would serve another to satisfy debts. In biblical times, being a bondservant often kept a person from absolute destitution or even death. The laws regarding servitude in the Old Testament, then, were established so that the people of Israel would protect the lives and dignity of their slaves. In the New Testament, passages pertaining to slavery are addressed to the Christians living in the Roman Empire, where slavery was the norm. St. Paul tells Christian slaves to serve with a faithful heart as an act of obedience to God. He then tells masters to treat their servants fairly and justly, always keeping in mind that all Christians have the same master, Jesus Christ. Jeff Cavins. Well, we made it through another day. Day 40 is tomorrow. And for those that like to be prepared, we're going to be reading Exodus 22, Leviticus 15, and Psalm 76. Hope to see you there. I will be here. Next time, I'll see you there. Locked out.